When working in Blender, I'm often making assets for games. And so when I got my hand on the MacBook Neo, I found it incredibly capable within Blender, and it got me thinking, how does it perform in actual game engines? I'm Mike, your creative tech chap, and in this video we're going to have a first look at Unreal, Unity, and finally Godot on the MacBook Neo. If you'd like a more detailed look at each one of these game engines, you can go check that out on my Canopy Games YouTube channel. You can find that in the description below. Let's dive in. Okay, so the other day I started up Unreal and I loaded up a demo project and it just failed to load out of memory. However, maybe that wasn't fair. Perhaps the first person demo was no good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and load up a blank scene. That's all we're going to do. It's going to be a blueprint scene, and let's go ahead and try and create that project. Let's just see if Unreal actually starts. I've got my doubts, but we'll see. I'm going to leave it to load. Hopefully it will actually start up. So the project has kind of loaded, but then it kind of broke, I suppose, not long after starting this. This is just a default scene, and it's still taking a while to load in. I would not be surprised if it also had an out of memory error at some point soon. I can tell you straight away, this is not a great experience. Uh-oh, we've got the spinning wheel. That might actually cancel the recording as well. So preparing shaders 78, oh, are we done? Literally, as I was reading that out, that text has disappeared. Are we about to crash? I thought for a moment with the beach ball disappearing, I could move the cursor. No. I mean, at this point in time, I would say this was a resounding failure. And so we have a out of memory error. So even the default scene in Unreal just isn't going to work on the Neo. So Unreal on the Neo? Nope. Absolutely not. Epic themselves list 16 gigabytes of RAM as the minimum recommended for Unreal Engine 5. Not ideal, not preferred, the minimum, and this machine has 8. So when Unreal won't even load properly on the Neo, that's not really a surprise. That's not a failure on Apple's part. Epic are telling you up front. You need double what this machine has. End of. Tests like this take a lot of time, and I really hope you're enjoying this one. If you are, pop a like on the video, and if you'd like me to take a deeper dive into anything game development related, comment below on what you'd like me to look at. Back to the video. Right, let's try out Unity. Just another thing to bear in mind, I am recording the screen, so things might be a little bit slower than they would otherwise be. Okay, let's hide away the activity monitor. This sample scene here is just one of the projects you can download. We're not going to do a lot of playing around in it. If we go to this window here and maximize it, we can have a look at how your development workspace might feel. Now, this definitely is difficult to move around and quite sluggish. Now, earlier on when I was playing with this, it was definitely faster. And I think what's happening here is this is running at the full resolution of the monitor, which is 1440p, which is just a little bit too much. If we're back in here, this is much easier to move around and explore the world. Let's dive into the actual game itself. Let's run the game with Control or Command and P in this case. And once we're in here, hey, there we go, we're moving around. So if I go ahead and maximize this, it is quite jerky. So I think this is running actually at 1440p. Let's see if I can just escape out of that for the moment. Change free aspect. Oh, there's quite a few different options here. I'm going to set mine to WXGA. That's close to 720p, which is probably what I'd run any game at on this particular system. Okay, that looks pretty good. Of course, you can zoom in. That's another way. Let's just try running around, see what that's like. Yep, this is absolutely fine. It's not obviously not the best in the world at all, but it gives us some relative performance. And remember, we're dealing with something that only has 6 cores when it comes to its CPU. So if there's any compilation that's required, whether that is code, shaders, lighting effects, or having to use the GPU, this system is having to do it all when it comes to a game engine. They can be very intense. As a first impression here, I would say that if you were just trying out game development, but otherwise you didn't need a game development machine, this would be absolutely fine for everyday office work, so your Words, your Excel, browsing the web. You will, if you're a tab junkie, end up running out of memory and have the occasional stutter, but it won't make a real difference to doing stuff. However, when you're in game development, if you don't have the resources, the game engine just won't run.
And that is really apparent with the Unreal Engine, for example. That wouldn't even run on this computer. It needs about 10 gigs just to get going. And if we have a quick look, let's just go to the activity monitor. Okay, we've got yellow memory pressure. We're using about 2 gigabytes of the swap memory. And if we have a look at the top here, okay, we are using 5 gigabytes. So one of the important things here is to understand that I am only running those few programs. If I had more programs loaded in, it would have to move things into swap. Swap is a type of memory that lives on the MacBook's SSD, which means that it's going to get hit a lot harder than a system that would have enough RAM. That's just a point of longevity. And if you happen to fill up your Neo, which only starts at 256 gigs, and you then need some swap, it will just go to a crawl and probably crash the program you're working with. So if you wanted to go for a Mac, I would look at an equivalent M2, M3, M4 with at least 16 gigabytes of RAM. Now, I think next year when the A19 Pro ends up in a system like this, if Apple decide to continue, that 12 gigs that it comes with is a different proposition. It starts to move the needle more in favor of a system like this. But for the moment, that doesn't exist. And the MacBook Neo, whilst it has quite a decent GPU, you really need a system that has more memory. And sharing that memory, like you do on the Neo, you're going to run into problems quickly. So I would not recommend this for Unity game development.
Okay, so now it's time to try Godot. Let's go and download it. We're up to 4.6 already, absolutely motoring through those versions. I've also got lined up the TPS demo, but this will be a good example. This is one a lot of people will have tried, so let's go ahead and start it up. Now, I actually have my DPI turned up at the moment. We can make the main window full screen once everything's imported. But this is a good example of importing a completed demo. That's important. And this is going to have lots of things like lighting, models, textures. So it'll be a good test of what the Neo can or cannot do. We'll find out in a few moments. I'm quite hopeful, by the way, because Godot itself is very lightweight. The engine is not going to get too much in the way, unlike Unity and Unreal, which are much bulkier engines. Yep, music is still playing. Seems to be locked on 75% at the moment. Doesn't seem to be memory. Might just be CPU. Ooh, it says Godot not responding as the guy there locks up. I'll give it a few moments and see. I've never loaded this one up before. Oh, MTL compiler service is back in action. So this might be shader compilation, just like in Blender. I will launch it again to see if that is in fact the issue as to why it's not responding. Okay, we'll see how it goes. Well, first of all, is there any shader compilation still going on? There is. Let's run around. Can we jump? Can we crouch? 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 No. Ooh, misty. I don't know what this is supposed to look like. I don't know what the game is running at. Perhaps I can change it in the settings. Oh, okay. So unlimited. Let's make it exclusive full screen when it launches. Quality is native. Okay. I did not know they had all of these settings. This is awesome. I'm going to tear this apart. Let's just set it on ultra performance for the moment. Metal FX temporal, that's fine. Disabled, disabled, disabled. What's this? Shadow mapping, okay. Oh, light map. Let's just set it as low as it can go. Are there any more? No, okay. Let's just play this and see what this would feel like. Hey, 90 frames per second initially. Okay, so this is a vastly different experience. For a start, there's no fog, there's no bloom. Whether or not that's something that you enjoy in a game, that is definitely an improvement in terms of performance, being able to move around. Oh, and they are particle effects. I wasn't sure before because I couldn't see the particle. Okay. Whilst this computer isn't ideal for game dev, and if you're taking game development seriously, this is probably not the machine for you. And there are plenty of options out there. Now, if you like the Mac ecosystem and you're not sure about game development or Blender or anything along those lines, then this machine is a great entry-level machine that will be great for lots of different things. However, it is something to just bear in mind that this machine won't grow with you. You won't grow into it, you will grow out of it. So if you're going to take game development seriously and you want a Mac rather than a PC, then I would recommend starting at the MacBook Airs rather than starting at this level. This will, as I say, hinder your growth in the long run. However, if you just need a basic machine or a portable machine that you can use around the place, this is awesome. This is like having an iPad with you that's actually a computer and more usable. I really do wish you could put Mac OS on an iPad. There really is no excuse now. But anyway, that's a rant for a different day. Okay, so we tried out a 3D game. How about a 2D game? Let me grab something that I made in 4.5 a few months back. We've got some music playing there. Start a new game, select a ship. And if we go back to the main menu, let's do a new game with a different ship. Pew pew! Nope. And the high scores. And there we go. 2D games, absolutely fine. You're not going to have any problem developing on the MacBook Neo. Unless you're going really extreme with... I don't know what you would be doing extreme-wise. In terms of opening, this was far, far quicker than the 3D game we were playing earlier. Fantastic.
Well, that was something a little bit different than I'm used to doing. And I really enjoyed doing it as well. And I hope you enjoyed the journey as we went through. What are your thoughts on the MacBook Neo? And now that you've seen it in those various scenarios, I think for beginner Godot and Unity work, this machine is absolutely fine, especially if you're just in the 2D realm. With 3D, Unity definitely starts to push it. However, sadly, this machine is not for Unreal development, which is understandable given how much more graphically intensive the Unreal Engine can be. Now, if you want to look at something more Blender focused, why don't you check out this video next?